Hey, how's it going? Today, I wanted to show off another Harlowe build in Borderlands 4. This one is pretty ridiculous. This build allows your radiation damage over time to last forever. It will just keep ticking. This explosion will keep going off and re-triggering it, and it will just go on forever. And just to show you real quick how broken this is, if you get more than one enemy going at once, it starts lagging out your game because they just start sharing damage. Now let's talk about the two things that make this build work. The first thing that I want to touch on is the generator class mod, and you also need to get lucky enough that it spawns with 1 point into runaway reaction, because this allows Harlowe to gain increased status effect chance against enemies who are entangled, and I think this is what makes the build keep going. And the other thing you need is Dirty Bomb. Whenever Harlowe irradiates an enemy, there's a radiation explosion on that enemy, and that's the explosion right there that's triggering every time and re-triggering the radiation. So that's important to have also. One thing I do want to talk about quick, I don't know if this is intentional and just how the game works, or if this is something that'll get fixed later on, but if you take off Demon Core, Dirty Bomb seems to stop working. Even though you are spec'd into it still, you'll see I'm not getting the explosions anymore. The one thing about this build is it is very specific with what you need to be spec'd into. Like, for some reason, even though if I was running the flux generator, I'd still have runaway reaction and I'd still have Dirty Bomb down there, it just doesn't seem to... It doesn't seem to do the effect. It seems like you need a very specific set of skills, and then it just works. So we'll go back here, we'll throw on the Chroma Accelerator, throw on Demon Core, and now for some reason the infinite status effect build just starts working again. So there you go. There's how the build works. Those are the important things you need, and then I'll go over some other stuff I have real quick. Like, I have even more increased status effect, elemental damage, status effect damage, radiation damage, status effect duration, even more radiation damage, critical hit chance with radiation damage, bonus radiation to entangled enemies. Basically just maxing out radiation and status effect stuff. And then when you come through the green tree, I just went straight down the middle, and luckily enough my class mod also boosts these, which is really nice. And then I threw a little bit in here, and then this you don't need, but it just adds even more radiation damage. And then this is the important thing, like I was saying, runaway reaction is, I believe, what keeps this thing going. And then the Dirty Bomb as well, that explosion there, keeps re-triggering the effect, and then it just lasts forever. Alright, before we go test this out on some real enemies, let me go over the gear I'm running quick. And I'm using a level 7 Asher's Rise, and the reason I'm using this is because the special effect allows critical hits to instantly apply status effects. I have a radiation one, and when I get a headshot, it just instantly applies the effect. And just to show how busted this build is, I'm able to still do this with a level 7 sniper. The plasma coil's another great gun. The radiation damage on this is great. This is the gun you mainly want to be using. It's just ridiculous when you throw it on the radiation one. You're going to be killing everything. There is nothing that won't die. I threw on the pacemaker. It doesn't matter. You can have whatever rep kit you want. Now, the last thing I'll show that does give you more damage is if you do have the throwing knife with the penetrator augment, which causes all damage to targets for 5 seconds to be automatic criticals. This does boost the damage a little bit. You'll see I'm doing 8,500, but then if we hit him with this, now I'm doing 13,000 for that 5 seconds. So this does help boost it, but you don't need it. You're still going to be having the forever status effect even without it. And then I threw on the fireworks because it's an awesome shield. And then I also have this Malawan enhancement, which gives you a 100% status effect chance after reloading with the Malawan gun. This is actually a good test for the build. So he is resistant to radiation right now, but I'm still pretty sure this build is going to work just fine against him. Shoot him in the head, and yeah, it is dealing slightly less damage since he's resistant, but it doesn't matter. You just need to shoot the enemies once, and then the radiation damage does the rest. It just keeps ticking really forever. And you can clear out other enemies. Like, dealing with other ones doesn't hurt it. If anything, it makes it stronger because they share damage between each other. And just like that, he's dead. Before I make my way over to the Guardian so I can show off an enemy who actually has a lot more health than Splash Zone, let me just show a little bit of mobbing and how this build works. You can see the crazy status effects that just get shared. Like, that guy's ticking, but if we do actual, look, like, bruh. These status effects are ridiculous. It doesn't even show their health bar at some points because of how much damage it's doing. It's a little ridiculous. Like, those are all radiation ticks. And then he just dies. It really is like you just have the plague on you, and as soon as you touch an enemy with your plague, they just die. Oh, it's literally still, bro, it's literally still ticking those enemies back there. And I'm all the way over here. All right, all I'm going to be using for this build is the Asher's Rise to deal the radiation damage, and then I'm just going to be throwing the knives to keep it going. Okay, wait, actually the knife is actually smarter first because then it's a guaranteed crit. All right, we just did that one shot. I don't know why it took so long to proc, but that was the one bullet, and now that's it. That's it. That's the only damage we need to do other than the throwing knife to just speed the fight up a little bit. The way I like to think of this build is just like playing as like a poison type character. You just do the poison, or quote unquote poison. It's radiation status effect, but basically like poison. Poison the enemy and then just stay alive while it does its job. This build is 100% not Harlowe's best build, nowhere close. I made a build video yesterday, and that build is way better, especially for mobbing, killing bosses, really everything. I just wanted to show off this really weird interaction, because I definitely think this is not working how it's intended to, especially with how bad it bugs out and stutters the game with all of the damage going on. I really did just want to make this video to cover this build and document it, because I have not seen anybody talk about this yet, and it is pretty crazy that a level 7 sniper, or, well, really any gun, just any gun that does radiation damage, can one-shot any boss, quote-unquote one-shot. Even though it's not an instantaneous kill, it is crazy that one bullet leads to this amount of damage. And then when you use the knife also, you know, it just speeds it up so much more. There we go. That should be the last bit of damage. And there is the boss with one landed hit. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, like and sub. And if you want to check out my other Harlowe build, which can actually shred through bosses in less than 5 seconds, I'll have that linked in the description. So feel free to check that out. Have a great rest of your day. See ya.